Bonjour, welcome to my channel. My name is Alexonia and this is my 5th video. This is the video that I was really hesitating on making because, as you're gonna see, it was very traumatic for me, and honestly, if they would have asked me to do this video 10 years ago, it would have been a definite, there's no way in hell that this is happening. But now with I guess the soft disclosures that they have been doing, it's a little bit more out there, and this is what has happened to me. So I'm gonna start with the first experience, and that was at our cottage. So every year we would go down for the summer holidays at the cottage. And I love to go at the time that we have like meteor showers. So my favorite thing to do is to lay on the dock with some like long chairs and like blankets and pillows, and like make a whole night out of it, and you sit there and look at the stars and the shooting stars that are coming down, and it's just a beautiful time of the year as well. So we were there, and it was just the clearest night. We could see, on movies, or you see like a footage from NASA and stuff like that where you could see nebulas. Well, that's almost like what we were seeing. It was just so incredibly bright. And then there was like the meteor showers, and it was just like spectacular. And then we saw this purple object zip across the sky, and we're like, oh my god, was that a UFO, And then we're like, wow, because the stars are coming, they're coming down, they're not shooting across the sky, right? So we're like, oh my god, I think we just saw a UFO. And so we're all excited and trying to see if we could see it again. And then maybe like an hour later, we saw it from the other side of the cottage, because the cottage is facing the water, and then on the other side is mountains. So we saw it pass over the mountain, like very low. So we're like, oh my god. So we ran up to the cottage and we went inside and told everybody. We're like, oh my god, we just saw like a UFO. Everybody comes out and is trying to see it, and of course they don't see it, but at least we saw it, right? Like, so I'm like, okay, like I'm not losing it. We actually saw this. So this was when we were at the cottage. Then 2 weeks later, we're back home, and I was leaving Jay's place, and it was like about 12 o'clock at night, and it had rained during the night, but the sky was like misty, but still clear. You could still, like, it was still clear, but it had been like a misty, it was a misty night. So I was coming down onto the highway, and from the highway, I live close, like by the lake, and Jay lives higher up in the city. So on this highway, you have a clear view of the whole night sky of the city and the lake and everything like that. So I'm coming down, and I went and calculated to see how far I was to see this from what I was seeing. And I'm coming down the highway, and then I can see this object, and I don't even want to say how big it is, but I was 9 kilometers away from the lake. And what I was seeing, I was not believing my eyes, because I was thinking, what am I seeing? No, that's not possible, right? There has to be an explanation. So as I'm coming down, the, over the city, sometimes I don't know why they do that, but like during games and stuff like that, like they have like searchlights that, you know, hit the clouds, or if there's no clouds, whatever. And I'm not quite sure why they do that, but that was going on. But that was like closer to the city, inside the city. And where this thing was like a little bit more to the west of the city. And I'm coming down the highway, and then as I'm coming, it's just getting bigger and bigger, and I'm like, there is no way that I'm seeing what I'm seeing, you know. Like, I'm thinking, I don't know what I was thinking. I was just trying to figure out what is it that I was seeing. But I have to go in that direction to get to my house, because I have to take a ramp that goes down to the lake. And by taking this ramp, I would be like so close to this thing that I just didn't want to do it, you know, no matter what it was, right? Because at this point I was just like, you know, I don't know, fooling myself, trying to make myself believe that it wasn't what I was actually seeing. I don't actually know what I was thinking at the time. I just know that yeah, things weren't rational in my head at this moment. So I'm still coming down on this highway, and then I was like, well, where can I go that I don't have to go onto the lake? And I was like, oh my God, like you know, I can't. I need to go there to take the exit to get to my house. So I get to the ramp, and I'm telling you, this thing is ginormous. Okay, I'm gonna say that it was the size of the Sky Dome in Toronto, because it's oval, and it was, all I can say now, it would be like a mothership. That's how I can explain it. There's no other way to explain it. And I'm coming down on this ramp, and I'm telling you that every part of my soul wanted to get out of there, okay? It was like in the movie Matrix, where Neo, I don't remember what the timeline of the movie is or whatever, but you can almost see that he's separating from his body. And I'm telling you, I was in like fight or flight. That was exactly it. My soul wanted to get the hell out of there, okay? So I'm coming down, and I've never been so scared in my entire life. My heart is beating like at 150 miles an hour, and I just don't want to go down there, but I have to, because I live down there. So this car whips by me, and then I was like, whatever, right? Like, whatever. I don't know what I was thinking. It just passed by me. So then I get at the bottom of the ramp, and then there's a light, and then I'm sitting at the light, and then I look over to this guy, and this guy's face was on the windshield looking at this thing. And I mean, I was like, oh my God, this is real. He's seeing it. I am not on crack. This is what's happening right now. I am actually seeing this thing. So I can't even tell you how scared I was. I could see a row of windows around this thing, and luckily I never saw nothing, because I would be in a mental institute right now. But I could see the row of windows, and the way to describe this thing, it's like when there's like a burnt street light that is out. You could see that it's metallic, but it's out. The light is out, so you could just, it's almost like it was in cloak mode, but not doing a very good job, because I could see it from 9 kilometers away, right? But that's how it was. And then it was making no noise, but mind you, I never rolled down the window to see if it was making noise or not. There's no way, right? So the light changed, and then this guy's face is still on the windshield, and then I just go, because I just want to go as fast as possible. I want to make it home and whatever. So I'm watching this thing, and I cannot take my eyes off of it. I am I am mesmerized. My eyes are glued, and I was just like I said, so scared. It wasn't even funny. Then I completely missed my exit, and I saw this thing turn from like a bright, like from cloak, like I mean from like silvery metalish kind of thing, to like a bright orange, then a bright red, and then it shot eastbound, like at the speed of light. Like when you say at the speed, I never seen anything move that quickly in my entire life. And it went eastbound. Then I'm parked. My car is on the side of the road. I'm past my exit, and my car is parked, and my car is off. Like, I mean, I didn't take my eyes off of this from driving, right? So how is it that I'm on the side of the road, parked, and my car is off at this time? And I'm like, what is going on? And I'm telling you, my heart, if I wasn't young, I think I would have died of a heart attack, honestly. So I'm baffled, I'm freaking out, and I'm in shock. I'm in shock. I don't have a cell phone, because back then we didn't have cell phones. Jay had a cell phone. It was the size of a brick, and there's no way I'm putting that in my purse. So I didn't have a cell phone. And I just like started the car, went a little further to get like another exit to be able to go back, to take my exit to go home. I'm telling you, I drove like at 150 miles an hour at the house. I came inside the house. Usually I take my dogs out and whatever. There's no way I'm going back outside. I picked up the phone. I phoned Jay. I was hysterical, okay? You cannot even imagine how hysterical I was. And I just like, he's like, okay, I'm coming down, whatever. I sat on the couch, and I'm telling you, I was like this, and I was like, not crying at this moment, because I was in like shock. And I just remember seeing myself on the couch, and it was almost like I was looking at, I don't know. And then my dogs are jumping up and down because they want to go outside, and there is no way in hell I am going back outside this house, you know? So I'm just sitting there, and then finally Jay gets there, and I mean, that's when it kind of bursted out of me, and then I started crying, and then I told him the story, and I was trying to tell him that having trouble telling him the story, just because I was like so hysterical and crying in between that and everything. So that was the experience. And then I was just, I did not leave the house for a full week. I could not leave the house. I was afraid. And then during this week, I started having like sleep paralysis, and I started having like these horrific nightmares that I would wake up reciting the Hail Mary. Okay, I was so petrified, waking up screaming. I think I gave Jay like a couple of heart attacks, because I just like woke up like literally screaming and reciting the Hail Mary. So it was like the dreams that I had were like I was trying to run away, but I couldn't. It was like I was in quicksand, and I couldn't move. I couldn't go anywhere. And if I managed to try to go somewhere, it would be like I was like on a rolling carpet at the airport, you know, like where you go, but you're not going. Well, you're going because it's pulling you there, but like if you're not, like on a treadmill, I guess, you know, would be like a better example, like running on a treadmill. So anyways, so this was happening to me, and luckily, and thank God that I don't remember what happened to me, okay? Because I know that I could get like you know, like put under hypnosis, and that they would go and get like the experiences, but I don't want to remember it. I don't remember it. They zap my memory clean from that experience, and that is fine with me, because I still have the trauma of seeing this thing. So I mean, that is bad enough in itself, right? So this was a week later, I managed to get back to work, and from then on, I just I wasn't the same person anymore, because you put everything into perspective. Like, I was trying to think, like, so when I was young, what happened to me? Was it them? Was it the aliens that came to see me, or was it actually the divine who appeared to me? I put everything in perspective. I didn't know what to believe anymore. I didn't I was never the same again after this experience, because it played with my mind, like you know. And then I see these people like, oh, you know, we want disclosure, and then this and whatever, and then the movies that, you know, they have a sign, oh, come and get me, and it's like, yeah, no, not those ones. No, 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 no. You don't want those ones to come and get you, trust me. And so 3 weeks after this experience, I started having a boil underneath my chin. And you know, as a child, I had like cystic acne, and you know, I was kind of used to having stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like, not very glamorous, but that's what it was. And but this thing started to be so painful that I could no longer speak at this point. So I had to take time off again. And one morning I wake up, and my pillow is full of blood, and I have pus coming out from underneath my chin from this thing that is probably the size of a dime, I guess, you know. So I when this thing opened, so it was like a cyst that opens, right? So the pain that I was experiencing was just beyond. I couldn't even speak anymore, because it was just affecting everything. I went to see my doctor, and then he gave me, like, I don't know what he gave me. He gave me a really strong painkiller, like I was high as a kite, you know. And then he said to get to the hospital. So we went to the hospital. And then went through admission and everything like that. And then they brought me to a room, and then the doctor came to examine me and stuff like that. And then they said that they was gonna keep me overnight, you know, like for observation and stuff like that. They sent me for an MRI, I believe it is. And then I was plugged on these machines. I was like, you know, super high, because they had to take away the pain from this thing. At 5 o'clock in the morning, they wake me up, and they put me in a wheelchair. They wheel me down to the basement, and we get into this, it's a boardroom of some sort, with the biggest table I have ever seen in my entire life. This table, I don't know how long it is, and all these doctors are there. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm thinking, well, why is there so many doctors here? You know what I mean? So now I'm sitting at the head of the table in the wheelchair. Behind me is a screen, and the doctor that had been taking care of me is there talking medical. I couldn't understand a word they were saying. They were just talking whatever. And then I know that my MRI scans, whatever, are behind me, and he's talking about those things and stuff like that. And this one doctor came over to me, and he was going to touch me, and I just like, are you kidding me? Get the hell away from me, you know? So he went back and sat down pretty quick, you know? And then nobody else came over to me after that, right? But yeah, so now at this point I'm thinking, what in the world is going on, and what do I have in there that I need like 50 doctors in front of me, like looking at this thing and poking at me and whatever, right? So but again, I'm still high as a kite because they drugged me good, and like, and thank God, because this thing was so horribly painful. And then I was transferred to this trauma center, like the best in the city. And then they tell me my mother comes from Quebec, and you know, like everybody is like super worried that whatever is happening to me or whatever. So then the doctors told my mother and Jay and myself, they said that I had a cyst, and it was in the inside of the bone of my chin. Now, come on. I know cystic acne is surface level. In the inside, in the bone of my chin? Like, are you kidding me? So they're explaining the process of what they're going to be doing to me and how this operation is going to go. And they have to open my whole mouth on the inside, on the outside of my teeth, and pull my face down to go and carve. And I have a carving here. You could see that they went and carved. They carved the whole bone out of my chin. And tied me back up. So this operation went on for hours and hours and hours, and it's the type of hospital like where you know, the doctor comes and he has like 20 like interns with him with clipboards and everything, and everybody was like, you know what I mean, like this is prior to the operation. They're all coming over and then looking and then seeing, and then they have the scan on them, and they, you know, I don't know what the heck they're doing, you know. But they're all very intrigued and very curious to see what's going on with me. So after the operation, I wake up in the bed, and my mother is there. And I have a breathing tubes, I have like, you name it, I have like tubes coming out of every orifice of my body. I have like intravenous in both arms. I mean, I'm just like, you know what I mean, like what the hell just happened to me? And I can't speak because they sewed my whole mouth, and then they had to do the both just to keep everything from moving and shifting. So I wake up, and like I said, my mother was there, and I couldn't speak. So they gave me a pen and paper, and the first thing that I wrote down was, do you have a mirror? Imagine. That's the first thing that I asked. Do you have a mirror? Yeah. Anyways, my mother shows the nurse the paper. And the nurse looks at me and she's like, oh no, honey, we don't have mirrors here. She goes, but don't worry, you look lovely, and the operation went perfectly, and you are going to be back to how you were before in no time, and don't worry, you look beautiful. And I'm thinking, sure I do, right? But you know, I'm young, and you know, like that's what you do. That's what you do when you're young. You're vain, and you think about, you know, how you look and stuff like that, and more than did the surgery go properly? Did they get this thing out of my chin, right? Like you would think that that's the first thing. That's the first thing I would ask today, but back then, no. Anyways, so now I have everybody coming to see me, and by the look on their face when they see me, I'm thinking, oh my God, there must be something very wrong with this picture, right? So everybody had left that night, and I'm thinking, I know there's a mirror in the washroom, right? Like, I know that there's a mirror in there. Like, how am I going to get into there? So, but I have the clicker where I'm on whatever I'm on, like morphine, probably, you know, and I can click it whenever I need it. And then I'm just like out, right? I'm just out. So in the middle of the night, I wake up, and I'm like, oh, I have to see, you know? So I'm like pulling like these tubes and stuff like that, and then I managed to get up from the bed, and then like wheel the pole with the intravenous, because I didn't want to take that out of my arms, right? So I managed to walk over, like it wasn't very far, it was just like next to me, right? Like, but I managed to go into the washroom, and then I turned on the light, and then I saw myself in the mirror, and I am telling you, I screamed so loud that I probably woke up the whole floor of the hospital. I had a team of nurses like rush into the room, get me out of the washroom, put me back into the bed. They tied me onto the bed so that I wouldn't get out of the bed again. And then they had to call the doctor overnight because I had screamed so loud that I was bleeding on the side of my mouth. So that means that I had popped some stitches open. So the doctor gets there, and then I don't remember the timing of all of this, because like I you know, like I'm they clicked the button for me to tie me up and everything else, so I didn't know what was going on. But so yeah, so during the night the doctor had came and examined me, and I was out. I don't remember having the doctor there. But in the morning, the nurse, when she came in, she was looking at me. She was like, why did you do that? Why did you do that? You know, like, and then I was like, you know, like I wanted to see myself, but I couldn't talk, right? So I couldn't tell her, but I was just like, you know, tears are running down my face. And so my mother gets there, and then the nurse is explaining to my mother everything that had happened. And you know, like my mom, she's like, as the nurse, she goes, listen, can you untie her, you know, like she won't do that again, right? So they untied me, and yeah, so that part of that. I was in the hospital for a week, and because they had to keep me there until everything, they just had to monitor me and make sure that everything was okay, I guess, you know. So later on, I had like a post doctor, you know, like after an operation, once you go back home and everything. And I had met the doctor, and the whole time that I was off, now that I wasn't drugged up, I knew that yeah, I knew what had happened. At this point, I'm thinking, you know, like now it made sense, like how my car was off, and how I was on the side of the road, how you know, like I must have had like a missing time, which now I know is a real thing, but at the time I had no clue of any of this, right? So I met with the doctor, And then I was saying, I said, listen, I said, have you ever had a case like this before? And then he looked at me and he goes, no. And I was like, so what was in there? And then he goes, oh, it must have been like when you were young, you must have like hit your chin and you had like maybe like something that went in there. And then I'm looking at him and I'm like, hey, doc, I know what happened, you know? And then he's like, he got all like weird. And then he's like, well, it's out of there now, so you don't have to worry about that ever again. And then I just like sat back going, oh my God, I was right. So that was this, yeah, this experience that I went through that was completely changed my life, I have to say, because you're not the same after something like this happens to you. And I never been, I never met anybody with any of the things that I have ever been through. Like I've had to um, um, just make myself like read more books and like inform myself about what had happened. And this is the only way that I was able to get through this, and with Jay, because he knows me. So that's the big thing. He knows me. And we hadn't been together for a long time at this point. I think we had been only together like for 6 months, you know? But in 6 months, you get to know somebody really well. And then he knew that what had happened to me had happened to me. And then after that, we started watching like, oh my God, like all these alien encounters and everything else. And when I was telling you about the ancient prophecies that I had like taped 8 hours of it, it was all about, some of that was a lot about alien encounters, people that had like been taken away, and like you know, the Barney and Betty Hill, and like all these credible experiences that people had been through. So just knowing that other people had been through the same thing that I had, like it helped me. And then I had Jay to talk to as well. So I mean, in reality, he was kind of like my my own very psychiatric psychiatrist, you know. But yeah, so that's the story. And I can't forget it, never will. And this is what happened. And that something else happened to me in those lines, but not as dramatic and not as scary, I have to say, because there's a difference in between UFOs or aliens or extraterrestrials, period. You know what I mean? Like, so I've had other experiences that I will share with you in these videos. And this is why I guess they want me to talk about these things, because it's happening to people. And they're not alone. And if anybody wants to reach out to me about any of these things, my information is in the description, and please reach out to me. And I'm gonna let this video go here because it's been like so long and I probably lost half of you. But I love you. We are one. And although this place is a learning curve and whatever it is, we all see the game and the school. So I love you, and I see you soon. Bye.